I'm an IU graduate, undergrad and optometry school. So I was in Bloomington for 8 years, married my husband, Craig, who played football at IU and was a 5 year on the 5 year plan. So we moved in Fort Wayne, live in Fort Wayne. I've practiced optometry for almost 23 years and just kind of decided it was time to do something different. I love what I did, but I was just kind of feeling a little burnt out. And I've always been interested in real estate and design and homes. And so we have three children. Our middle son, Jake, is a freshman at IU. And so we kind of tossed around the idea of purchasing a house with the purpose of Airbnb-ing it, but also being able to enjoy it as parents of a college student. So that kind of started our journey. Yeah, so once I get set on something, I just was constantly searching every day, realtor.com, different looking for different houses and talking to some of my friends. I have a couple of pledge sisters from IU, one of them who has two homes there, and kind of asked her to give me an idea of where I wanted to be because I obviously spent 8 years there, but I hadn't been there any length of time for many years. So she helped me with that, and I just scoured and came across a house I thought looked darling, and I was excited about it and called the realtor, and it happened to be Lance. So and he had already sold it. It was under contract, but he was just easy to talk to, super likable. So we kind of started a friendship at that point and started looking together.
At the time, I hadn't had that much experience with Airbnb as an investor or as a realtor helping clients purchase Airbnbs. I had a handful of investor friends in town who did have Airbnbs, but I flip homes. So the house that Susan had seen online was one of my first house flips in Bloomington. And I'll never actually forget, this is kind of a funny story, but when Susan called me, I was actually in the attic of the home that I was under contract for that I was selling, and I almost didn't pick up the phone because, well, I was in the attic. But but I picked up the phone, and if memory serves me correctly, Susan and I had a great 5 to 10 minute conversation while I was in the attic, and I made a note to give her a call back when I could safely call her back, and we kind of hit it off from there. But through working with Susan, I think with the investor and flipping background that I have, that really helped kind of lay a foundation for our relationship moving forward. And then as far as Airbnb goes, I feel like Susan and I really kind of put our brains together and learned a lot on the front end. And that was what was kind of cool about working with Susan is, she was kind of new, call her aspiring real estate investor, but in it to win it, committed to the cause. And I think over the first 6 months of getting to work with her, we learned a ton about the Airbnb market in Bloomington.
I wanted something walkable to campus, but also to Kirkwood because football weekends are limited. Obviously, that's just a handful. So, outside of football, what else is bringing people in and knowing it's likely mainly parents and families visiting their kids. So, I wanted it to be walkable to Kirkwood where most of the food is, and you can just kind of, spend some time and just enjoy beautiful Bloomington in the fall, winter, spring, whatever. So that's kind of just that was my biggest thing. Walkability was the biggest.
The house that they ended up purchasing, in terms of the type of house and the fact that it was a gutted house, that was not the type of house that I thought we were going to be buying. And, as a realtor and as someone who's supposed to be looking out for Susan's best interest, there was a lot of coaching and a lot of reassuring. But also, like, I don't ever want to be the reason that one of my clients purchases a poor investment. So really doing my homework and and looking at the numbers in terms of not only the acquisition price, but also the rehab and how much all that's going to cost.
That's where we kind of felt he was meant to be meeting Lance because he did, you know, through talking with him and getting to know him, we learned that he had flipped homes alongside his dad with the help of his father. But the good thing was is they both, especially Lance, was like, we would love to help you finish it, but we will help you as much or little as you'd like. and will help you in any way, basically. But after we met his dad, my husband and I both are big people on just the feeling you get when you meet people, and we were both just like, yes, absolutely, we're going to work with them. They'll help us, they'll be honest, they'll help us really finish it, as reasonably as possible, but yet still good work, so that we were all proud of the final product. So we worked pretty closely with Lance's dad, Numero, and picking out flooring, paint, cabinetry, everything, lights, everything, which was actually really fun.
When I first started working with Susan and trying to figure out, like, okay, what properties can we look at? What neighborhoods can we look at? I really wanted to make sure I was providing solid comps, comparables for Susan so that she could really understand, okay, what could a 3 bedroom, two bath house yield in terms of revenue in this neighborhood? And so there are a couple of different online platforms that pull data directly from Airbnb to allow investors like us to really know what we're getting ourselves into. And so one of the platforms I used was AirDNA, which helped us be able to look at the Bloomington market and really see every single Airbnb on the market, as well as look at their each listings yearly 12-month revenue, their average daily rate, as well as their occupancy rate. And so we were able to look at all these listings and kind of see, okay, here's some of the amenities that these properties have.
Social media, lots of social media. So we now are part of, my girlfriend started a website called Stay IU, and her goal is to create a website that's a smaller version of Airbnb. So someone can click on that and kind of find a handful of homes that are of similar settings and that sort of thing. But so marketing, I mean, on social media, big time, Instagram, Facebook, all of that for sure.
Yeah, and they've done a great job of posting regularly and really kind of building awareness around their properties.
Well, really well. This month was really good, but so far so good. I mean, it's football season still, so we'll see how things go. But I really didn't realize how much I would enjoy hosting people and communicating, meeting people from other. I mean, via it's all just texting and stuff, but really nice people bringing their kids in for a soccer game from Michigan, or I've got now a young family from Bloomington coming into town for Christmas, but they've outgrown staying with their parents' house. So they're going to stay at our house over Christmas and then spend Christmas with their family. And it's just been really fun. Communication is really important, and replying to people in a timely manner is super important. I mean, I just think that's people appreciate that. So, whether or not everyone does it to the same degree, I'm constantly checking my phone, just making sure nobody sent me a little text about something that needs to be replied to. And I just think also having a strong team of people to help you, a cleaning company or a woman or man or whatever, but a group that's going to make you look good. I didn't realize how important that was. And again, I got lucky because my girlfriend already had a team and she was willing to take me on. Otherwise, I'd probably be trying to go down there and clean all the time. It just would have been difficult. So I think the importance of having a good team around you, because you can only do so much.
Regardless of how nice the home is, you're not just going to put it on the market and all of a sudden the money's going to be flowing through. I've had to do a lot of strategizing with pricing. I've had to do some strategizing in how I market it, how I take photos, how I'm cleaning it and preparing the house for when a new guest comes. So for me, I feel like I'm still learning. And, I think I can only get better from here. And so that part's been pretty humbling for me.